Colts at the 49ers. The 49ers are 4.5 point favorites. The Colts heading into town, 44.5. Here is your total. Colts coming off a big win that they should have had a big win in a game against. And then you're getting 49ers coming off of the bye. The big news here is that Jimmy Garoppolo practicing for the 49ers. Looks like it's going to be him. Trey Lance still not practicing, so it's not going to be him for sure. If you were wondering, there is not a third quarterback listed for the 49ers on their depth chart, so you kind of have to head to the practice squad if you want to kind of see what would happen if there was a major setback with Jimmy Garoppolo and all of that. But 4-point favorites, 4.5 point favorites, depending on where you look, 44.5 your total here. Brad, so let's just assume Jimmy G going up against a Colts team that, went out and has looked at least a little bit better over the last couple of weeks. Now, that being said, pretty big hit to them. One of their, Paris Campbell goes to the IR. It looks like T.Y. Hilton is not practicing for them either. So that guy just can't stay healthy. So even though they were getting some people back, there's more people that are leaving as well.
Yes, it does look like Quinton Nelson. He was back at practice this week, so that would be pretty huge for them against a good Niners D-line. In general, I think the Colts are a team on the up. If you just go, if you've got a PFF subscription and you go look at Carson Wentz's offensive grade, he's gradually improving every week of the season, basically. There was a good article this week on For the Win, talking about some of his mechanics and how he's kind of cleaned up his footwork throughout the season. And it does seem to be showing up in the stats. Last 2 weeks, obviously, they pushed the Ravens close, probably should have won that game, and then just smashed up the Texans last week. So I think this is generally, Frank Reich, he's a good offensive mind. The quarterback seems to be improving after missing all of training camp and all that kind of thing. But I'm not sure this is the spot either, because Shanahan off a bye, he's going to have a couple of weeks to cook up all sorts in his wok. Jimmy G is definitely an upgrade over Lance at this point, I think. And they got one cornerback back, the Niners, K'Wan Williams, and obviously this defensive line against the Colts offensive line is still a bit of a mismatch. So. Yeah, I think, I'm kind of hoping the Colts lose bad and we get a chance to back them next week, perhaps.
Stephen, if you were wondering, Nate Sudfeld is the quarterback that is on the practice squad for the 49ers. So should there be a setback for Jimmy G at any point this week, Nate Sudfeld would be your guy going for the Niners here. That being said, if we enter this game assuming that Jimmy Garoppolo is going to be the quarterback, I understand. Listen, I've been as down on this 49ers team as anybody. And even with Kittle being on IR, getting one of the corners back at least is a pretty big thing. Jimmy Garoppolo getting a couple of weeks to get ready and get right and make sure that he's the, at least fairly healthy entering this thing, a full weapon, a full complement of weapons at the wide receiver position and stuff. And then again, they are beat up on the Colts side of things. I mean, it's not to be just passed over that, again, offensive tackle Braden Smith didn't practice again. We're still looking at some of these. T.Y. Hilton did not practice. Kwity Paye did not practice. There's a lot of guys here. Rock Ya-Sin did not practice. So a lot of guys that could be out on the Colts side of the ball as well.
They also lost their starting safety, Justin Blackmon, in practice to an Achilles injury on Wednesday. So another big blow to the defense for them. So, hey, by the way, fun fact, I covered Nate Sudfeld college games in Indiana when I was a local sports reporter. It was about as riveting as you would expect. So, yeah, don't upgrade anything if Nate Sudfeld has to take a football field in the NFL. But, yeah, the 49ers, to me, if this is a normal situation, right, if both teams were on equal rest, I'd be kind of curious to back the Colts here at more than a field goal, considering the arrow has been generally pointing up for them in recent weeks. And I think context matters, where we had warned everybody coming into the season how difficult their schedule was through the first 6 weeks. I think it was something like only the third team in history that had to play their first 5 games against teams who had 10 plus wins the year before. So that we knew that it was going to be tough sledding for the Colts early on. I'm just not sure it gets any easier this week against the 49ers, who are generally a pretty well-prepared football team coming in. Now, if they didn't lose all of these guys, and Quentin Nelson's a huge upgrade for them, but is it a net 0 with all the other guys they've now lost and are banged up after last week. So it's hard for me. I was leaning a little bit towards the Colts in this game, but I think they're going to be a better buy low spot here maybe in the next week or two.